Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Polly Joe Labbe, here on our YouTube channel, Trinity Temple of Sacred Wisdom. Hi, everyone. Um, Soul Connections is all about taking the time to reconnect with our soul, our purpose, our spiritual teams, and really help us get into a place where we are centered and we're able to navigate this life a little bit easier. And we come together in this sacred community to support each other on our healing journeys and just to be present with our spiritual teams, whether it's your angels, your guides, your ancestors, all divine of the highest and fullest, brightest energy is welcome to gather here each and every Tuesday night. So thanks for joining us. And I will be your guide. I will do our meditation where we clear away any of the energetic debris that we may have picked up along the way. And then we do some messages, and I invite your teams to communicate to you through the messages if you would like. And tonight's card deck is an oldie but goodie for me. This is the Ask Your Guides deck by Sonia Choquette. There is a new version of this deck that's out, so if you don't have the same one, that's why. This is actually the first deck that I learned how to do oracle card readings on. So it's got a sentimental place in my heart. And I figure we all are in that place where we just want to hear from our guides. What do I need to know right now? Or what can help me move forward in my life? So if that's something you're interested in receiving as a message after our meditation, all you have to do is type in yes, please into the comments, and we will pull cards for everyone who asks for them. We don't leave anybody behind because we want to make sure that everybody gets the wisdom that they are meant to receive. So don't be shy if you really would like one. It doesn't mean somebody else won't get one. Right? Keep going until we're done. So no worries there. All right. So thank you for joining us. The energy this week has been maybe a little bit turbulent, shaky, or wobbly. Maybe you've had some emotional waves that you've been riding. And part of that is from our full moon that we had and the fact there was a lunar eclipse and the blood moon. It just brings about all sorts of shifting and changing. Every full moon invites us to release things that are no longer serving us. And the blood moon in particular is really connected to those emotions that we have bottled up inside that need to leave because they're impacting us and our how we are experiencing our life. And the blood moon has a lot of anger energy into it. When we see red, it can correlate there. So it can have a little bit of that going on. But also it can feel you can feel some heaviness, or maybe even like depression, weightiness, weight of the world on your shoulders. But all of that can release, and all of that can make room for something better. Whenever we face change with our spiritual teams, our divine path, we face change over and over again. And the reason we do that is because there's always something better on the other side. We just don't know it in the exact moment that we're in. So here we are. We're in this time of change. And that's why we gather, because that way we can feel that we're all connected. We're all going through some sorts of change or shifting. And we can be an inspiration for each other as we navigate what our soul wants to learn and express, how it wants to express itself. So nice job showing up for yourself tonight. So here we are. We're going to start our meditation. And as always, I'm just going to invite you to get yourself nice and comfortable. You want your arms and your legs uncrossed. because you just want to let all of the energy flow through your entire system easily. And sometimes if we cross them, we can get the energy stuck in a particular location, and that might feel a little tingly, burny. It's not my favorite sensation, so I invite you to shake it all out and have a relaxed place where you can feel held and supported. So we're just going to start by taking a few deep breaths, and with each deep breath, we just want to focus on our physical body, letting our muscles relax, letting the surface that is supporting us to hold all of our energy. So any part of your body that is connected to a surface, whether a chair, the floor, a bed, maybe even the grass and a tree, just allowing your energy to let yourself be supported. Let those muscles release all the tension they've been holding on to. And letting each breath just bring you back into that place of noticing in your physical body what's tight, what's tense. Maybe where is there pain? And feel free to stretch it out, adjust yourself so that you can get into a place where just we're breathing divine light into all of those muscles and allowing them to relax. We really want to make sure that our neck and our shoulders especially are allowing the tension to just melt off of them. We often store a lot of energy here, especially those of us who get headaches from time to time, neck aches from time to time. Or maybe you have some tightness in between your shoulder blades. That spot that the chiropractors love. Maybe you have some tension in your lower back or your hips, your buttocks, your thighs. Just really allowing all of that to dissolve. If there's any tightness around your belly, just letting your belly muscles relax. Nobody is seeing whether your belly is hanging out or not. There's also a few of us who need to release some tension in our jaw. There we go. And we're just going to welcome in and invite in our spiritual teams. And by that, I mean inviting our angels, our guides, the ascended masters, our ancestors, our animal totems and connections, the star beings, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment. And we know that they are always with us, but we're inviting them to be extra close to us so that we can sense them, know them, feel them, experience their energy more fully, more completely, so we can become more familiar with them and their ways of communicating with us, so we can deepen our intuition and trust what comes through. And setting the intention, as always, that the messages and any healing that is done here is for the good of all and harm to none. And we ask our sacred teams to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light, allowing us to be held in this beautiful divine container of healing love and light, so that our body can relax as our soul stretches and expands. And we also invite that a second bubble be placed around the space that we are in, whether it is a room, a home, maybe it's outside, just a secondary container. So we can feel the energy being amplified and healed where we stay and where we are. And we're going to start by checking our own energy system, seeing how balanced it is, seeing how connected we are to the earth energy and to our teams. And so we're going to start tonight at our root chakra, just below our tailbone, and invite the most brilliant red to come in to fill and restore any energy that has been depleted here. Any ways that our root chakra, our foundation, has been a little bit wobbly, maybe it's unsteady. Really filling that beautiful red so that we can sense the color getting lighter and brighter, the chakra getting fuller. And releasing any energy within it that is related to our safety, our security, any ways where we've had experiences that leave us feeling insecure, unsafe, or unprotected. And just filling that with the reassurance from our spiritual teams, asking our guardian angels to be very present so we are always aware of them working with us when we need it most. And bringing some stability to our work and our family lives, bringing balance to our finances, and any survival needs that we have that have been feeling a little unsteady. And bringing our attention and focus up to our sacral chakra just below the belly button. Seeing that orange color as it brightens and it lightens. It becomes clearer and more orange in each moment. Releasing any emotional energy that we've held on to here that didn't feel safe to express. Bringing all of that into balance so that we can access all forms of creative being, thinking, and experiencing. through our sensual body, through our manifestations, through our connection with others, and with all the ways we express our uniqueness, our thoughts and our ideas. And bringing our awareness up into our solar plexus, right beneath the rib cage, and calling in the brightest yellow you can imagine as it ignites our personal sun, dissipates any cloudy energy that has been blocking our sun energy from shining, any ways that we've experienced bully energy. In person or as part of humanity, releasing that energy of power over others. And really releasing any ways our self-confidence, our self-esteem, or our self-worth have been compressed, made smaller, made less significant. Any ways we have felt dismissed by others, ignored. For all my beautiful empaths, any anxiety we've been feeling or overwhelm about the energy of others around us or on the planet as a whole. And then moving up into our beautiful heart, welcoming in the greens and the bright pinks as they mingle together in unconditional love, beginning with love for ourselves, and then expanding into the love that we experience in connection with others. Releasing all the judgment energy around love, any restrictions on giving or receiving love. Opening and expanding the heart, knowing that all love is divine love when shared with an open heart, filled with courage and compassion, kindness and empathy. Releasing any disappointment, grief, or sadness that we've had connected to conditions placed on love, any feelings of abandonment that we've experienced. Any times our feelings were hurt or we felt left out. And really even connecting to the heart of our inner child, that vibrant self who shares all the magic and the wisdom and the creativity. Who teaches our soul how to dance as it expresses itself through our entire life's journey. And moving up into the throat chakra, welcoming in the vibrant blue colors, all shades of blue that resonate for you, experiencing them becoming lighter and brighter, and that chakra becoming fuller, connected to our heart in the ability to speak our heart's desires, to be authentic in our truth and aligned in our integrity. Using our words to express ourselves with the vibration of love and kindness, even when the words are difficult to be spoken or heard by others. And inviting ourselves to express all the ways it wants to, our creativeness, our uniqueness. And moving into our third eye and connecting to all of the deep, deep blues, purples, and even some of the white energy as we bring balance in our brain between the logic and illogical parts, our intuitive energy, and our wisdom and knowledge, connecting to all of our senses so that we use our senses as they are meant to be our personal guidance system, allowing the emotions to show us when energy is askew in some way, and then connecting that to our intuition, connecting that to our wisdom, so that we can make conscious choices, take conscious action by accessing the subconscious and what it wishes to explain and express with us. Allowing us to expand our perception and to connect to our spiritual teams, our angels and our guides, to hear them, see the signs, know their presence, expand our trust, release any doubt that we've been carrying, and connecting to our beautiful crown and the lotus of crystal that is above that. Each petal connecting to a different vibration and frequency of divine beings, allowing our beautiful lotus to bloom just ever so slightly more than it has, granting us access to more of our spiritual team. in this moment, bringing them closer. Feeling the divine energy as it flows through our crown. And taking a moment to anchor our energy to our soul star chakra above our head, above the crown, really connecting, reconnecting, and experiencing our higher self. And feeling that connection to our higher self as it moves through our entire heart line, through all of our chakras, and connects deeply within the earth below us, connecting to our earth star chakra, anchoring us here on this planet, in this body, in this experience, in this moment of now. Feeling the divine feminine energy as it flows up to us and through us, the divine masculine as it flows down to us and through us. And the beautiful rhythm of both the masculine and the feminine in balance, in light, in love, as it is meant. Allowing that energy to expand out into our auric field, into all the layers of our aura, restoring and repairing any of our layers that hold energetic boundaries for us, ones that keep our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body safe and contained so that we sense our energy. We may sense that energy of others, but we don't need to absorb it. And even repairing any layers of the auras connected to our past lives, connected to our ancestral lineage, and any ways that our energy is impacting the earth, creating an open pathway of communication with Grandmother Earth, so we are aware of what she needs as well as what we need. Inviting our spiritual teams to communicate any messages, any wisdom that they would like to share with us in this moment, or if they would like to share through our dream time, through messages of numbers, animals, colors, music. And also any messages they might want to send through my team or the cards that I will be using this evening. Welcoming in clear, concise communication. Filled with loving kindness and authentic truth. We're going to take a moment to start to bring our attention and our awareness back to our physical body, knowing that our teams will stay nice and close to communicate with us and be with us. And with each breath, we'll just feel more and more connected to our physical body in the space that we're in. We might notice the gravity pushing down on us. We may notice the clothes on our body. You may hear noises in the background or smell something in the air, and just begin to stretch, yawn, whatever you need to do to reconnect with the physicalness of who you are in this moment. Maybe rub your hands together or your feet on the floor. Whatever will help you come back and join us here in this moment. Nice. All right, welcome back, guys. So tonight's deck that we're going to be using is the Ask Your Guides deck by Sonia Choquette. And as I said earlier, this was the very first deck that I learned how to do readings with. So it's an oldie but goodie. And the cover can look a little bit different these days because she's updated the artwork. But the messages still really hold true. So I really love connecting to this. And if you haven't read this book, Ask Your Guides, it's fantastic. I often use it when I'm doing beginning psychic work with people, psychic development work. It's a great book to help expand your awareness of when they're communicating with you. So it's kind of fun. So, Rob, who do we have tonight who would like some cards? Deanna, nice job. So the first card for tonight is Appreciation. And this is from the Divine Helpers. And so the Divine Helpers are here to say, hey, you've been doing a great job. And as part of that great job, they're giving you flowers, they're sprinkling stardust on you. And sometimes we feel like we do and we do, and it's almost like we don't think anybody notices. And what I'm getting for you is that your spiritual team is here and just saying, hey, we know all the great work that you've been doing with others. We know how much you have been doing to support humanity, actually. And sometimes we just need that little pat on the back, and we don't always get it. But they're here to give you that pat on the back and to let you know that it is noticed. It isn't going unseen or unheard. And that there are things that are blooming that are coming up for this springtime as we hit spring soon at the end of the week. And just know that in the divine realm, there's so much appreciation for all that you've been doing. And that appreciation will start to show up in the physical realm as well. Sometimes it's a matter of, a thoughtful gift shows up, or somebody gives us a tip when we're not expecting it. But you'll start to see some little signals of you being appreciated throughout this week. So look for them, because then you'll get more. And I always encourage people, when you get a message or something is from your team, just say thank you, because then they're excited to give you even more to be thankful for. And that's awesome. Congratulations. All right, let's see who's next. Bernadette, hi. Nice to have you. This is a sweet one. So this is Unconditional Love. And this is coming from the Divine Mother. And you can see how she's just got this huge heart, and she is wrapping her hands around the beautiful child energy. And, it doesn't matter how old we are. We're always the divine child, right? We're always our parents' child, and we are always the divine child. And so what I'm sensing is the Divine Mother, and whether you see that as the Divine Feminine, maybe you connect to Mother Mary or Isis or Kuan Yin, however you experience that feminine unconditional love. And when I feel that, it has this warm honey feeling to it. It's like you're wrapped in this warm honey blanket of love and nurturing. And so she's coming to wrap you in this blanket of unconditional love, and really to wrap the inner child in unconditional love. Because most of the time when we're feeling a little bit shaky, it's actually the child part of us, that the energy around us is similar to something that was unsettling when we were children. And so when the child gets a little nervous, they need reassurance and they need love and nurturing and support. And so that is coming from the divine feminine for you this week. And it's also inviting you to find ways that you can be unconditionally loving to your child self and to yourself. Maybe that involves doing some self-care things or self-nurturing. Maybe it's taking time to play with the child self, because the child self can get pretty bored from all the adulting that we do. So maybe that's what your child loves, or maybe doing something creative. Um, Mine loves to bring out like colored markers and pens and just play with things, especially anything bright colored. She just absolutely adores that. So maybe there's something like that for you that you can do to let her know that you love her, and that you're going to clear some time to spend just with her, and know that the Divine Mother is doing the same for you. Love that. Have a great week, Bernadette. Thanks for being with us. Kevin, nice to have you, sir. Okay, so this card is loss, and this is the healer guides. And this doesn't mean that you're going to go through a loss, though you might. But what I'm sensing is that, sometimes life has to change. That's how we grow. That's how we evolve. And so sometimes we have to go through this period of grieving what was. Because sometimes we glorify the past to be like so amazing, and nothing can hold up to that or stand up to that. And so know that what you experienced before, it may not be present in this moment with you, but it's not lost. It's still energetically right there, and it can be your joyful companion. You don't have to think of it as what I don't have. The focus is on what I do have, or the joy of what I have. So, my grandparents passed away quite a while ago, and they were really my rock solid home. And so the only place that felt like home was their home. And so, in those first, moments, it was all about that feeling of how much I lost. But now I can be in this place of like realizing how much I received and how much I continue to receive from them. I can feel their presence often, and I have little reminders from them all the time. So it's not something that's lost. And even when we have to change our living place or our job, we can still have what is wonderful memories of what was wonderful there. We don't have to worry about what was lost. We get to get excited about what's coming up. And sometimes we can grieve the fact that we've gotten older. So we can be like, oh no, I'm no longer 20, and what did I do in my 20s? And I didn't appreciate them when I was there. We can get that loss as well. but the best is yet to come. So when we focus on our teams are always giving us something better to experience. And so knowing that whatever's coming is better than what we are losing or have lost in the past, it's very cool. We don't have to be in this place of like, oh, I wish I had done this in that relationship. We can be like, oh, I'm so glad I did that in the relationship. Even though it's not here anymore, I'm so glad that I experienced this. And I'm not quite sure what it's connected to, but I have a feeling if you don't know now, you will in a day or so. All right, sir. Thanks for coming. Julie. Ah, yep. This is the discipline card by the master teacher. And this is not discipline in terms of punishment. You know, the phrase practice makes perfect, right? So anything that is a little bit challenging to us, we have to practice to get better at. And sometimes we need to set up a schedule or set up time to practice. So what I'm sensing for you is that it connects to your spiritual expression. Writing is what's coming in. That the discipline is that you need to do it more often. And it doesn't have to be good. We worry about, oh, well, if I write every day, I have to write a poem every day. It's like, no, you don't. You just need to put words on the page and they can be nonsense. But it's just the fact that you are dedicating time to putting words on a page. Same can be true for music or artwork or anything that is a creative expression of who you are inside, how your soul wants to creatively express itself. And we use that discipline to hone our skills, to gain self-confidence, and to really feel that connection to moving towards mastery. And we can do that in any way we want to. Mastery of our ability to meditate, mastery of our ability to make a fantastic grilled cheese sandwich. It doesn't matter what that thing or things are. It's that we put some intention in doing it and clearing some space to practice. Because when we practice what our heart really wants to express, even when it's messy, even when it's not what we're expecting, it's still moving us to that energy of mastery. So I'm seeing you creating a schedule and using that schedule to move your dreams forward. And we all could use that. So thank you, Julie. That one's for everybody. Have a great week. Oh, you are very welcome, Deanna. Yep. I had a very painful, traumatic childhood too. So I have spent a lot of time really reparenting my inner child and letting her know that I'm the parent now and that I love her. I care about her. Her needs, her wishes, her wants are so in the forefront of what I put my time and my energy in. So you can do that too. And if you need any help, let me know. I also have on my website an inner child blend, an oil blend that really can help connect your heart to the heart of your inner child. And that's true for anybody who might need a little help with that, because I think we all need to heal some of our childhood. Thank you, Bernadette, for sharing. Mercury retrograde in the studio. Well, yes, that happens too. Hi, Mary. Nice to have you here. Let's see what your card is. All right. So your card is the Judgment card. And this is from your higher self. Doesn't mean your higher self is judging you. But notice the magnifying glass, right? And so what your higher self is saying is stop judging yourself. Don't put yourself under the microscope. Don't look under the magnifying glass, because when we do that, we if we look for something to be wrong, we're going to find things to be wrong. And we are our harshest critic. Everybody here can say that, I'm sure. We are our harshest critic, and we've had some harsh critics in our past. But when we go into a place of judging ourselves or judging how we do things, or how good or bad things are, the problem is that we start giving permission to other people to judge us too. And that never feels good, right? And it doesn't feel good even to judge other people for what they're doing, because then it reflects on us that we should be judged as harshly as we're judging others. So your higher self is saying, stop looking for every little nitpicky thing to be wrong, and just let life be a little bit messy. And you are loved in every single moment. Everything that feels like a mistake, everything that feels jarring or whatever, you are still loved by the divine. So it doesn't matter in the end. You're not being judged by a harsh deity and a harsh God who's like looking down and check marking, what you're doing. You're being held by a loving divine being, whether you see that as God or goddess or all that is or oneness. It's unconditional love. Just loving you for you being brave enough to be here on this planet and have a physical experience as a divine being. And it's gonna be messy. And it can't be perfect, because if it was perfect, then we wouldn't enjoy our experience. So let go of that critical energy. And if you learned it from somebody else, let go any critical energy connected to them about them giving it to you. And try to have that higher, fuller, kinder love energy, and feel that toward yourself, and love up that inner child just the same way. Release all that judgment. We don't need it. Way too much on the planet. All right, Mary, have a great one. Jackie, nice to have you. So yours is compromise. This is also one of the master teachers. Compromise is a hard one, because many people think that if we compromise, we're giving up, we're surrendering, we're letting somebody else get their way, and we're giving something up. So the master teacher energy is teaching us that compromise is when we actually meet in the middle. One person has one thing, you have another thing, and it's not doing one person's thing or the other person's thing. It's like, how do we come together and meet in the middle? And when we do compromise in that way, neither side feels like they're giving anything up. Compromise is when everybody gets something. Everybody gets something that they need. And when we compromise on the things that are, don't matter as much. Because more of the reason to compromise is because we want to have life experiences of ease and grace. And when we do conflict all the time, we don't have that peace and serenity inside of us. So finding a compromise that everybody can go, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can work with that. And maybe the world around us has been having trouble, but that's because people aren't willing to compromise. They're not willing to see somebody else's point of view. And you are somebody who is able to do that. And I'm not sure, I don't have a good read on the other party, but they have that ability too. And, the ability to agree to disagree, right? But not in a harsh way, but in a, okay, this is what I absolutely need. This is what I want. This is what I absolutely need. This is what I want. And so we get our absolute needs met and some of our wants. Maybe not all of them, but isn't it better to be in a place where we are finding ways to bring our community together rather than being at odds or being in constant state of conflict? Like, how can we learn to do our best? And you are in this place where you can use that beautiful heart of yours to say, okay, here's where the middle feels like, and let's meet there. Let's meet in the middle. And because then both of us can let go and let our hearts be open, and we can let this be done. Bygones be bygones. Let everything go. And boy, we need to learn how to do that right now as humanity. And so anybody who can take a moment to create some space for compromise and coming together, we need it. So thank you. You're going to do great, Jackie. Jocelyn, nice to have you. This makes sense. So you get the rest card from your Holy Spirit. And the rest card is very much rest, and what I'm sensing is that even when you have like time off, you're not resting. You might be like sleeping a lot, but that's not what they mean necessarily by rest. Rest can be sleep, absolutely. But rest is when we let the vibration of stress leave our environment. So it's when we shut off electronic devices. It's when we don't look at the news for days. It's when we don't talk to people who amplify stress in our lives. And it's when we do things that are just about nourishing ourselves. And sometimes nourishing ourselves is something, what I'm seeing is sometimes what feels really good is like taking a yummy bath or a shower with some really wonderful smelling candles or soap or just it's an experience, right? But also things like having a clean room, having clean dishes can feel really takes a lot of weight off of us, because there's a lot of misplaced energy in any chaos or clutter we can have. And so even though cleaning and clearing that might not seem like rest, it's like it's letting your energy system come to a place of rest. It's allowing your nervous system to come to a place of rest. So those of us, and I know there's many of us here who've experienced trauma in our past, have post-traumatic stress of some kind. Lots of times our nervous system gets switched on to fight or flight, and it never completely switches off, not without proper healing, not without proper connection, but it can be shut off because it's meant to only click on when it's life or death. But you know what? It's not supposed to click on when we're stressed out about bills because that's not life or death, right? It may be difficult, but it's not life or death. And so your nervous system has been on high, your adrenaline's been on high, and so it needs to come on down. Maybe practice some meditation to help with that. Reach out because I'm more than happy to help in ways that can help you with this. Take a good tubby with Epsom salts in it. Anything rose helps soothe our spirit. Rose oil, even rose petals in the bathtub can help. That is especially connected to the divine feminine healing. So I'm getting a really strong sense that rose is something that you might want to bring into your environment, even just a diffuser and having some rose oil to shift the vibration of the space that you're living in. Because sometimes our space can get a little saturated and it can hold us in a depressive energy sometimes. So sometimes we need to open the windows and let that fresh air come in. And again, if you need help, you know where to find me. Thanks, sweetie. None. I'm so glad, Mary. You have a wonderful week too. I can't wait to see how that shifts for you this week. You are very welcome, dear. Yes, I'm sure many messages have been hitting home for multiple people, not just their own message, but that's how the divine works. You're welcome, Jackie. I'm glad that helped. Stacy. Nice. Here you are. So decisions. This is coming in from your higher self. And you can see that there's like the person in the middle is getting a little bit of tug of war going on. And which is hard, because when we come to like a fork in the road, right? And we have to make a decision to go one way or the other way. We can feel like there's a right or a wrong decision. But the reality is there's no right or wrong. It's just, what does my soul want to experience right in this moment? But it's, what does your soul want to experience? Not, what should I do for someone else? Should I go this way because that will help somebody? Or should I go that way? If you're putting should on anything, could or would, any of the OULD, if it has OULD in it, then it's burdensome and it weighs down on our shoulders. That's not going to help our heart take action in the right direction. And you're standing right in the middle of your heart. And so it's saying, decide with your heart and decide what's best for your soul in this moment. And one of the things that you can do with automatic writing is ask the question, what does my soul want to experience now? Or which decision is best for my soul? Or use a pendulum to see which way is best, A or B. And sometimes you need to reach out to somebody else to pendulum for you, because we can get in there. I pendulum for people all the time. But I often don't pendulum for myself because, um, I want to have an unbiased opinion, right? And it's hard to know whether we're totally unbiased or not in that. So whenever you're in the middle of deciding, it's your heart that needs to decide. And if it's an obligation in any direction, you feel obligated to do something or to be something, that's not it. Okay. If it feels like an obligation, I keep hearing that, then that is not the pathway to go right this minute. Because nothing should feel like an obligation or like stress or like I have to, or I should. All of those are ding, ding, ding warning signs. So if you need any help, you know where to find me. Good luck with that. Bye, dear. Have a great week. All right, Rob, who do we have next? We'll see. Maybe it's Rob himself. But I'm going to shuffle until I find out.
It is me. Go ahead and do it because
All right.
wait in the studio again.
Okay. So it is Rob. Let's get it done. We know what this is about. This is about Be Live at the moment. Discontent. And the muses. They're your muses that are coming in. No, it's not about Be Live. But discontent with the muses means that we're not connecting to our creative outlets. Means that maybe you haven't been using your music to bring in inspiration for yourself or for others. And so the muses are like, hey, time for you to pay attention to us. We're here to bring you some inspiration and some ideas, but we can't do that if you don't come and connect with us. And some of that, what I'm sensing is playing things that are original to you. Lots of times as music people or dance people, or we play other people's songs, or we dance to somebody else's choreography. I don't know how many people I've seen do, the Michael Jackson Thriller dance, where it's just the choreography from the video, and it's like, that's not creativity. That's regurgitation, right? And so the muses are saying, hey, time for you to do some creative work. When was the last time you wrote your own song? When was the last time you just fiddled around and played music that, again, like, let it be messy. It doesn't have to be a song. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be. The act of playing and getting into that practice and becoming one with your instruments, all of that is like part of the muses connecting to us. Writers having to, have their sacred rituals of, using their pen or certain papers, or or a certain chair or a certain place where they go and they connect. It's still a divine connection. And when we don't allow that divine connection to flow through us, we can have that place of discontent within ourselves, where things just don't feel as joyous or don't feel as full and as bright. So start fiddling around with music, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be a song. It just needs to be. Take time to be the musician. Take time to put that archetype on and let the sacred music flow. And it doesn't have to be somebody else's music. Let it just be your music from your soul. See what happens. Love that. Love that for all of us. So thanks, guys. Thanks for being here. And enjoy as we move into the energy of spring. And you guys can always help by liking and subscribing and even sharing the video, sharing our information with others on your website, because the more we can reach out in our spiritual community, the more we can really create change on a planetary level. And those of you who want to come join me this weekend in Massachusetts, who want to envision the life of their future, what do you want to create with your life? Come join me in Massachusetts, and let's see this weekend. I've still got, I think, 3 spots left. So maybe one of those spots is for you. We'd love to have you. And with that, guys, hope to see you soon. Bye for now.